Hi there, this is Jill Hope with Unleash Your Inner Wealth. And today we are going to have a deep and serious talk about how you make money during the coronavirus that we're all experiencing. I'm sitting here right now in, I guess what could be called a lockdown. I guess it's not really, but our state is one of the states that has already made that decision that we need to businesses are shut down. People need to stay home. We can go out for a walk, but we can go get groceries. If we need to go to the doctor, we can do that. But other than that, you pretty much need to stay at home. So if you're like me, if you happen to have your own business or even if you're in a career that is really being affected by what's going on with the coronavirus, this is specifically for you. It's also for you if you're just generally in fear about money at this time because everything feels so uncertain. So let's break this down. What I'm going to share with you today are 5 key, perspectives or ideas that you want to grab onto right now if you are worried about money. If you are in a business and you're not sure how to approach your business at this moment because things are so uncertain right now. That's what these 5 ideas can help you to move through. So first of all, what I do want to say is that when you're trying to bring in money, right? And if you have your own business, you're always trying to bring in money because if we're not making money, our livelihoods are gone. It's how we pay the bills. It's how we invest in our businesses. It's how we grow. And so as much as most people who are in their own business, have created their own business, they're doing it because, typically if you're a heart-centered entrepreneur, you want to serve. You want to share your gifts. You want to be able to really step into your purpose. You're probably looking for some kind of freedom. You might not be a really employable person, meaning you might not do well in an environment where someone's telling you what you need to do. You might want to be the visionary and create the ideas and make those types of decisions. So if that's you, and it's definitely me, we're always looking for ways that we can serve and ways that we can support people and have our businesses support us back, right? So, but you can't do that when you are in a place of fear. If you shift from the idea of serving to the idea of being stressed out, not sure where the next paycheck's coming from, not sure how to move forward because everything is so up in the air, you will shut down the part of you that is actually open to receiving money. Okay, so that's a really, really important point right off the bat that I want to make clear. So the 5 ideas that I want to share with you today, the first 2 seem like they have nothing to do with creating money during a crisis, and yet if you don't do these 2 things, nothing else really matters because it's these 2 pieces that allow your energy to get into the space where you can be open to receiving. And by receiving, I don't just mean receiving money, I mean receiving creative ideas that will actually help you create money, connections with your clients, and a higher level of service, basically. So what are these 5 things? The first one is peace. It's finding and connecting with your own inner source of peace. We all have a place within ourselves where we know that all is well. But during uncertain times, we can lose touch with that. We can lose connection with that. We become more in our heads than in our hearts when we're in a crisis situation, when things get stressful and out of control, and we don't feel like we have any control. So connecting back in with that inner source of peace is one of the first things, and it's so base and primary. It's something that we should all be doing all the time anyways, no matter what's going on. Because when you come from that place of grounding and peace, inner connection, that place where everything, where a part of you just knows that everything's okay and that all is well and all will be well. From that point, you can make much more rational decisions. You can be much more clear-headed. It can help you to move emotion out of the way, which can be a really good thing at times, to actually put that to the side. As great as connecting with our emotions are, sometimes it can cloud our judgment. So getting grounded and connecting in with that source of peace is such a primary thing to do to really open up for the creative ideas and the money to flow again. So how do you do this? Well, it's different for everybody, but it's really about looking at what helps you feel good. What brings you peace? What brings you joy? For a lot of people, it might be going for a walk in nature. It might be reading an inspiring book. It might be hugging your pet or your child and just being able to be with someone who you really love. It might be meditation. It might be vigorous exercise. It could be yoga. It could be an energy exercise, like a grounding exercise where you ground your energy to the earth. You want to find I would say like a handful of things that help you feel calm, cool, and collected. Okay. And again, that's different for everybody. So think about right now, you've got things like this in your life already. So what brings you that peace and that calm? What centers you? What has you sort of exhaling? Whatever that is, write it down, make a list of what those things are, and do them every single day. Do at least something on that list every single day, as well as do it anytime you start to feel the anxiety level go up, okay? Because you want to be able to calm that down before you are able to take the next steps that I'm about to share with you, okay? So find your inner peace. And by the way, all of these steps that I'm sharing, I actually wrote an article about this on my blog. I'm going to link that down below so that you can get a copy of that if you want. You can print it out so that you can refer to these 5 pieces every day if you want, okay? So the second thing that you want to do is that you want to go into gratitude. So this, you hear this all the time, right? Be grateful for what you have. And that can kind of sound trite after a while, and to the point where we don't even take it seriously and we don't even really tap into the energy of gratitude. But I'm telling you that the energy of gratitude is some of the highest energy that you can tap into. It's very, very close on an emotional scale to love. And love is the highest energy that there is. So you want to be putting yourself into the feeling, the vibration, the frequency of gratitude. It's a lot easier, I should say, to do once you've gotten yourself peaceful, okay? Because at that point, you've already opened yourself up to move to that higher energy level, okay, of gratitude. So what does it look like to move into gratitude? It's really looking at what is already working. You see, human beings, we're wired to look at what's going wrong. So at a time like this, during this coronavirus crisis, what are we looking at? What are we hearing all day? We're hearing the new cases that are being discovered every day. We're hearing about more people dying. We're hearing about more cities and states that are closing down. That can do nothing but fuel anxiety. So, and it makes you think about all of these things that are, that we're probably perceiving as very bad and very wrong. So instead of having that in your head 24/7, you want to start looking at, amidst all of this, what is actually going right? What is working? What can I still do? What is good right now, despite what's going on? And you literally not only want to think about what these things are, I do advocate writing them down. Having a gratitude journal is really great. You can do it in your money journal, which we've talked about several times. But you can also have a separate gratitude journal. But there's a lot of power in actually thinking it and then writing it. Okay, you get the brain-body connection that way. But you don't have to write it down, but at least you want to connect with what's going well. So, just personally, when I'm thinking about this, I can't go out to a restaurant where I can eat there, but I can order out and they can deliver it to me. I can't go out meeting with groups of people, but you know what? I'm an introvert. I'm an introvert who loves people. I'm actually kind of excited that I get to not have to go anywhere for a little while, okay? So to me, that ends up being kind of a good thing. I'm kind of loving the closeness of being with my family, even though we're sort of all doing our own things. We haven't started the game playing like part of, I know that's coming, and we really enjoy playing games together as a family, but we're all sort of finding our own way in this right now and sort of being solitary together, if you know what I mean. And it's actually a really comforting feeling. So I'm quite enjoying that. I'm also enjoying that it's having me reach out to people that I haven't talked to in a long time that I actually really care about and I really love, and I miss them. And this is giving me, as if I needed a reason, which I didn't, but it's like sort of prompting me to get in touch with these people again. So there's a lot of good things happening. And when I think about those, and when you think in your life about what is actually working, what can you do, what do you enjoy, what is making you happy right now amidst all of this craziness, you feel differently on the inside. Things don't seem as scary. Things don't feel as out of control because you're starting to connect with the thing that you actually can control, which is what you think about, number one, and how you feel about that, okay? You can control both of those things. So when you switch your mind to think about the things that are working, that you do enjoy, that are good, and you feel the feelings associated with those thoughts, you're shifting yourself to a much higher vibration, which again is another thing that opens you up for higher level ideas, better able to receive, and so on. So that's number two. So we've got connecting with your inner peace, connecting with gratitude. The third piece, now here's where we get into a little more specifics that are related to bringing in money, okay, and building a business during a crisis time like this. The third piece is connection. Of all the things that you could do in your business to create money, the number one thing, not only now, but always, is creating connection. If you don't connect with the people that you are creating programs and products and services for, you cannot be successful. You could have the greatest product in the world, but if you have no way to connect with people who are going to see that product and see the value to them, they're not going to buy it. People buy your energy. They don't buy your product or program. So, and how do they discover your energy? How do they connect with that? Well, you connect with them. Connect is the key word here. So in this crisis time that we're in, it does require that, we're not in business as usual. It requires that you treat it in another way. So what I'm personally doing is I am extra connecting with my people. I am discovering, I'm thinking sort of, what do people right now need? And that's what I'm giving them. So right now, I know that a lot of people need to, they need to find their own calm. They need to step out of anxiety and find their calm. They need to laugh. They need to feel good again. They need to feel a sense of control. So I am trying to step into that space of offering different perspectives that they can adopt for their own if it feels good to them, and to really look at how can I serve their needs. And I'm doing it through connection. So right now, what you want to look at is for your clients, how can you support them with what they're dealing with right now? And another thing to think about, which kind of gets into our next piece here that I'm going to share in a minute, but what gifts do you have that you're not actually using right now in how you deliver business and products and programs to the people that you serve? Okay. But before I get into that whole piece, it's really about how can you connect with people right now and be there with them and meet their needs. Okay. And show them that you really do understand their needs and that you are here to help them. So that's the third piece, is connection. Now, there's a side note to connection, which really shouldn't be a side note, but I'm bringing it in right now. It's not only connecting with your clients and your community and people like that. This is also about connecting within yourself. If you do not know who you are, if you have not ever really done a lot of self-reflecting, if maybe you've got some room to grow in terms of your own personal self-awareness, this is where you want to spend your time right now. In fact, I had the opportunity to ask Robert Herjavec, the shark, one of the sharks from Shark Tank. I had the opportunity to ask him a question the other evening. And I asked him, given this time that we're in, what should we be investing in right now? And you know what he said to me? Yourself. So that's what this connection piece is also about. How can you connect with yourself right now in a deeper way? How can you know yourself better? Who are you? What's important to you? What do you want? What do you really, really want in your heart of hearts? What would you like to do? I mean, maybe you're in a job that it doesn't fulfill you. This is the time to really look at these things and get real. We are being given an opportunity right now with what's going on where we don't have a ton of distractions. I mean, we have to stay home and, face ourselves right now. This is a gift if you choose to see it that way. So this is a time when you really are being urged in a very big and spiritual way to take a look at who you are and what you want. Okay. I actually do have a program that it's a home study program. It's fairly low cost, and I'm offering an extra special offer price on this because we do need to look at this for ourselves. And if you're not used to that, or you don't know what process to use to do it, this program will actually take you through that process step by step. And I'm even offering a private one-on-one session with me to support you as you go through the home study program. And if you have any questions, okay? So you'll see information about that down below too, if that can serve you and if that's something that you need right now. But it is really, really important to connect with yourself and really start to know who you are and what you want right now so that you can create that, okay? All right, that's number 3, is connection. Number 4, very closely linked to connection, is creativity. Oh my gosh, this is so huge. It's always huge, especially when you have your own business, but it's so huge with what's going on right now. Because the fact of the matter is that the business landscape in this moment is very, very different. And so we cannot approach it in the same way right now. We do need to get creative in how we approach things. Example for you, one of the kind of a side area of my business is that I have written a number of curriculums that teach kids how to build inner confidence and connect with their power and overcome bullying and have healthy self-esteem and strong social emotional well-being. And so I certify people and license them to teach my curriculums and take them out there and profit from them and create businesses out of them and everything like that. But one of the things that we have not made available is the ability to teach it online. This is more of a what you do in your community, getting kids together. It's very interactive. There's a lot of activities and games, and so it's kind of like, after school use, or summer camps and things like that. Well, can anyone get together now? No. In the era of social distancing, that's not happening. So the creative idea that came to me was removing that restriction and coming up with creative ways that we can actually connect with kids and the curriculum online and do it that way. And then I threw that out there and let my facilitators know. I had a facilitator then who took that idea and took it to the next level by suggesting that we all get together as facilitators and we brainstorm how to do this as a group, and have each of us, anyone who wants to participate, get involved in taking this program literally to the world through online means. So that's really exciting. And that is an idea that did not exist 1 week ago. So this is a time where you want to get really creative. And if you've done the other steps up to now, if you tapped into your inner peace to remove some of that anxiety, if you've been focusing on what's good, you are opening up your mind to receive the creative ideas. Downloads are coming for all of us. And what I mean by downloads is it's those sparks of information that you wonder when you get them, where the heck did that idea come from? It's like the most amazing idea will just hit you, just like that bell. It's like it lands on you and you're like, wow, this is good. And it feels good in your heart. That's how you know that it is a divinely inspired idea. Okay? When we open up, when we get into gratitude and we get into our peace and we start to open our connection to ourselves and others, we get those creative ideas. The key is to take action on them immediately, okay? If you don't take action on your ideas, what happens is you will talk yourself out of it. And I've been there, and it's not fun. When an idea shows up, it's here to be acted on now, okay? All right, so I'm going to jump to the last piece. I do want to say one more thing about connection, though, or I'm sorry, about creativity. And this is really, really important. And I talk about this in the article, too, that I've got linked below. But Napoleon Hill, in his classic book, Think and Grow Rich, one of the things that has always just stayed with me from that book is when he talks about opportunity. And he says that, let me read you the exact quote that he said, because I think it's really, really powerful. He says about opportunity, "That is one of the tricks of opportunity. It has a sly habit of slipping in by the back door, and often it comes disguised in the form of misfortune or temporary defeat. Perhaps this is why so many fail to recognize opportunity." So, what in your life feels like a temporary defeat or feels like a misfortune? Because I guarantee you, in that misfortune, that temporary defeat, is your opportunity. And creativity is your way to get there. It's the path, it's the open door, it's the channel where you can get out of the seeming misfortune and into the actual opportunity that is here for you, okay? So I just wanted to share that little extra tidbit with you. The last piece of this 5-part perspective that I'm hoping you guys can adopt if it resonates is the idea of surrender. Now, for someone who's a kind of a control freak like myself, surrender is not that easy. But in a time where things are, so many things are outside of our control, a lot of times it's kind of like the only option. So what we need to surrender to in this moment is, we do all those other things that I talked about, right? But But then when you've done everything that you personally can do, the things that you personally have control over, once things are all done, like if you remember I said move on the inspired idea immediately. If you haven't done that, it may not be time to surrender, right? Like do the things that you are inspired to do. But once you've done everything, at that moment, you need to sit back and literally, God, take this now. I have done everything I personally can think of to impact the situation, to change the situation, to improve this situation. I've followed through on every idea. I now leave it in your hands. You know what I want. You know what my vision is. Please open up the channels through which this can come to me now. And if there's anything else that I need to do, please give me that inspired idea or that inspired action. And please make it very clear to me what action I need to take. Thank you, God. And that's literally, that is what I will do. It's I do my part and I let God do his part. Okay? That we don't create alone. This is not a one-man job ever. Your life is a co-creation, and everything in your life is a co-creation. You do what's your part and you let God do God's part. So what is your part? People get confused about this. Your part is not to make anything happen. It's not to force things to be done or to get to a certain place. Your job is to connect in with yourself, to really know yourself. This is what we were talking about with connection. Know yourself. Be clear on who you are. Be clear on what you want. Paint a clear picture of that. Recognize your limitations. Accept that you're not perfect. Accept that you will make mistakes, and it's actually okay. And accept that you're going to fall down. You might look stupid sometimes. You might get the number of times that I'm sure I look like a total idiot. I mean, I can't even count. But I always learn something, right? So you've got to be willing to take those little risks and put yourself out there if you want to get the payback or reach that vision, okay? That's your job, is to have the courage, cultivate the courage. You can ask God for help with the courage to do the things that you're inspired to do because you know yourself. You've gotten to know yourself and what you want, okay? After that, though, you don't actually bring the final pieces together that make it happen. It is God who creates those channels for you. God opens up the way, even when it seems like there's no way. Like right now, you might be thinking, I don't know how the bills are going to get paid next month because we're in an unknown territory here, right? You don't have to know. This is the big part here. You don't have to know. That's God's job, is to figure that out. What you do need to do, though, is you do need to do all the other things to connect with yourself, to get the inspired ideas, to be in a place where you can even receive inspired ideas. If you're stressed out, you won't get them. Get those inspired ideas and take action on them. Even if it's scary, even if you've never done it before, even if you're afraid you're going to fall on your face, even if you're afraid someone's going to laugh at you. If you can do that, you will see what you want come towards you. Okay? So when you're going there and the doubt comes up, find your peace. Go to your gratitude. Get back in connection with yourself or others. Open yourself up for creative ideas and take the very next idea that comes and move it forward. And then let God bring it to you. Now, this last piece with surrender, it requires a level of faith. It really requires a level of faith, okay? You've got to trust that you're going to be okay. God promised us abundance. It's there. As scary as the times might seem, at the end of the day, we will be okay. You will be okay. I'm not saying it's going to be easy necessarily, but you can get out fairly unscathed if you hold your faith and you do all that you personally have control over to do, and you leave the rest to God. So that's what I wanted to share with you today about how to make money during this coronavirus. These 5 pieces will really set you up to move through this time with a minimal amount of pain, with new inspired ideas coming to you, new relationships being built, or current relationships getting stronger, which even if it doesn't show up as money this minute or in 2 weeks, down the road, if you have created those connections, built those relationships, it absolutely will come back to you. This is a time of opportunity, even though it looks like misfortune and struggle. Find the opportunity and you will be rewarded. I hope this has been helpful for you. Thank you so much for listening and hanging with me here. Check out the resources I have below for you, and definitely hit that subscribe button. Every person who subscribes, it greatly helps me to grow this message, to get more people to actually see it, and for all of us to be able to benefit from, from getting the message out there. So thanks so much, everyone. Stay well. Stay calm, connect with yourself. You have everything within you, all the resources you need to be okay, okay? And I will be back again next week with another video to support you. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.